Session is bringing calm to the chaotic classroom. And so this is page, I believe, 11-ish on your, I didn't, for some reason, didn't number mine, even though you have it. So it's bringing calm to the chaotic classroom. I'm page 11, page 12, 11. Yeah, well, I think we're doing a pretty good job right now. Yeah. So it's, you know, when it comes to a classroom, there are two entities that have to be calm. One is the children. You want calm children. I mean, that's kind of, if you're doing children's ministry, you want to be calm. Now, I was a youth director for 7 years. Our youth department on Sunday morning had 60-ish or more young people. That was a dream a lot of times to have calm. If it was calm-ish, I would be happy. But there is, the first blank there is the children. The children, you would like to have calm with the children. Because look, you do want to be able to teach. You have important things to be able to give. You want the classroom to be calm enough that you're able to give that information to the people you're talking to. But here's someone else who also needs to be calm. The workers. The workers need to be calm. That can be a problem sometimes because I think Miss Ruth mentioned this a little while ago. When you come in and you're unfamiliar with the children, you're unfamiliar with the situation, it doesn't put you at ease like you would want to be. So when we think of having a calm classroom, this isn't just talking about, hey, how do we get these kids to listen? It's also, how do I as a teacher, how do my helpers, how do we all together bring a calming environment to the classroom? And the key to having children who are calm typically is having a classroom, a teacher, helpers who are calm themselves. I mentioned last night that when I was a Christian school teacher, I had no desire to be a Christian school teacher. I hadn't planned on being a Christian school teacher. And when all of a sudden I was teaching 36 eighth graders at the same time, I realized that because they knew that I didn't know what I was doing, they keyed off of that, and they were all over it. We all know this. That's why when you were in school, when the substitute teacher came in, you were all happy. The reason why was because they didn't know the procedures, they didn't know what was going on, and everybody usually just ran right over them because they had no clue what the classroom was all about. And so being prepared not only calms you, but it also will calm your classroom in turn. So the blanks that we have there is, first of all, the lesson is prepared. One way to bring calm to your classroom is making sure your lesson is prepared. You know, I can't imagine walking up to the pulpit and not knowing what I was about to preach, but I'll know this. If I felt like that, I would be a nervous wreck. I feel much better knowing I have notes, I have studied, I've put hours into this, I am prepared, and although I still feel the weight of it, it's not like I walk up to the pulpit and say, oh, I studied, it's no big deal. I feel the weight of the importance of what I do, but I also feel the calmness of knowing I've worked on this. I've thought about this. I've studied on it. I've meditated on it. And so because of that, there is a level of calmness that I'm able to have. They're knowledgeable about the children in their classroom as best as you can be. Understanding you could have visitors come at any time, and we pray that we do have visitors coming at any time. But, and again, this was alluded to just a few moments ago, the longer you spend with these young people, the more raw data you're going to collect about what works and what doesn't. And as you do so, it will bring a level of calmness to you in the classroom. Their visuals and other items are prepared. You know where everything is. You know what you are doing. Everything is laid out, meaning this, you're probably in your classroom 15 minutes early to make sure that you are prepared. You have everything ready at hand, knowing what's going on. It's one of the reasons I like coming to church so early. I beat everyone here except for Vince, who I'm pretty sure just lives here most of the time. Ruth could verify that for me. I don't know. But you know why? Is I just like to know everything's the way it needs to be. I don't get in for 10 o'clock church at 9:55. You know why? I want to make sure everything's where it needs to be. And there have been times that has happened, maybe because I wasn't feeling well that morning or something. It is the worst feeling in the world because then you get up and, oh, wait, where's my notes? Oh, my notes are in my office. I've got to go back to my office. I got to send someone to my office. Oh, wait, I don't have the order of service. Where is that? And before you know it, you're already starting off in a bad place. Everyone feels that, and everybody's ill at ease. Everyone's awkward. And, you know, it's one thing about being awkward in a church service. If you have that happen with a bunch of kids, they see the opening, they see the opportunity, and you're done. I mean, it's like you're done before you even started. And then the more prepared you are, the calmer you will be in the classroom. that last bullet point, often the calmer you are, the calmer they are. And I said this last night, children can smell fear. It's not just bears and wild animals that smell fear. Children smell fear. And when they know you are not in control, they are totally keying off of that. And so knowing that you are prepared, knowing that you have everything in order, and look, we're people. You're going to mess up sometimes. No matter how prepared you are, there's going to be something that is not going to work the way that you want to. But the best as you can, humanly speaking, you know that you put in the time in your lesson, you have visuals ready. If you have extra things that you need to bring along, or if you have things that your special needs children will need to hold, maybe fidget spinners or things like that, you have them all prepared. You know where they are in the classroom. They're easily accessible so that when you get in there, that even when things don't go as they're planned, it's almost as if you plan for things to not go as they planned.
Right.
And you have a plan B, you have a plan C in place. And again, as best as you are able, knowing that we're not perfect and nobody expects perfection of you, but as best as you can, that you are prepared, and it brings calm to yourself, but it also will help bring a level of calm to your classroom. Now, again, philosophy-wise, it's easy for me to speak about that, but I am not in the trenches. I'm not in the classroom all the time like you are. And so Diane and I are doing this lesson together for the reason of I want her to be able to give you some of the things that you can do in a classroom to help be able to bring calm to the chaotic classroom. She has, now if you're watching online right now, like I know some are, you're not going to be able to see the visuals, but you can still follow along with what we're talking about. And then we'll also have the visuals available for those who are watching on the recording later that can access it. You'll be able to see those there. So with me saying all of that, I'm going to hand pretty much the rest of this session over to you to bring calm. How are we calm in a chaotic classroom? Tell me, I want to know.
Okay. Well, it seems appropriate, considering we're supposed to be talking about being prepared, that I am unprepared. So, Kaylee, can you go grab me 2 blue chairs, little kid blue chairs, and our box of fidgets, please? Okay, so let's look at bringing calm to the chaotic classroom. I'm going to go through 2 scenarios for us, and then we're going to have a very practical, step-by-step, I'm going to actually teach a junior church lesson in front of you with my children and show you. It'll be kind of weird, but I'm going to stop and like explain, you could do this here, you could try this here, you might be able to do this here. And I'm using my son, so it will be very real, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. But I thought it was the best way to kind of visually show you what are some things we could do.
Yeah. We're walking the tightrope without the net for the next 45 minutes, so let's see what happens. Yeah.
Okay, so scenario number 1, you have an unprepared teacher. You have no structure in the classroom. The expectations are unknown. That means you don't have, you have rules, but the kids don't know what they are, or they're not easily recallable. No adaptions to the lesson. We'll talk about that in a minute. No interactive aspects to the class. You have too high an expectation placed on your students. There's no body movement in the schedule, and children must sit with their hands in their laps. Okay, this is scenario 1, and this is a recipe for chaos, especially if you have special needs kids. Honestly, even if you don't. As my opinion as a teacher, this is a recipe for chaos. Talking about no body movement in the schedule, can anyone think of something that we do during a junior church class that automatically has movement in it? Anybody? Brother Dunbar? Song. Yeah, the song time, right? Generally speaking, though, that's the only time we have movement in our classroom, is during the song time. What I'm proposing to you, especially if you have kids with special needs, you need to deliberately have movement at every point of your time in class. Incorporate some form of movement. Does not mean they're out of a chair. Doesn't have to be standing up, but you need to incorporate movement into every aspect of your lesson. And then the other things we'll kind of talk about as we go up here on the stage in a minute. There we go. Scenario number 2, you have a prepared teacher. The visual schedules are available and followed. And I did "and" in caps on purpose, because you can have a visual schedule on the wall all you want. If you don't actually follow it, you may as well not have one. Your expectations are known and spoken about often. And we'll I'll get into that in a minute. Lots of adaptions are available for different skill levels. And this is especially important if you have an inclusion classroom where all your special needs kids are in with all the neurotypical kids. Interaction is encouraged, not prohibited. Activities are made available for all children regardless of their capability. Movement is incorporated into the classroom structure, and consistency is key. And then even with the best made plans, sometimes things don't always go according to plan. So God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So let's go through what a class might look like if we're trying to follow scenario number 2. AJ, Peyton. AJ, oops, sorry. AJ, come here. Come here. He's like, what? Can you come sit in the chair?
Yeah, we've done no prep
No, none.
with him at all. So this is, you're getting the unfiltered version.
Okay, can you put your iPad under your chair for me? Hey. Can you put your iPad under your chair for me? Can you take out your headphones for me? Thank you. Can you pause it? High five. Thank you. Now, if you had that kind of a situation where a child came in with a preferred activity and they were having trouble putting it down, there are different tools that I don't have because I have not used them, but you can make your own. You can make a pause button. You can make a stop button. What I would recommend is, now I did prep him ahead of time. I said, in a minute when mom calls you up to the stage, we're going to put the iPad away. Okay, so giving your kids a little bit of a countdown. Doesn't have to be long. Hey, in 1 minute, we're going to put this away and we're going to go to class, or we're going to start class, okay? Give them, and have an actual countdown on your watch, your phone, show it to them. Look, it's almost done. We're going to put it away. And then you can use that visual stop or pause. If you're going to let them come back to it later, you can give them a pause button. Are you nervous? Hey, guess what? Me too. You don't want to show anymore? Well, how about 2 minutes, and then we can do some fun things on the iPad to show all the people how you use your iPad. Can we do that? Okay. So at this point, I'm not prepared. So ironic. Okay. So now we're in church, we're in junior church, and we've got the preferred activity put away. The first thing I'm going to do with my students, we're going to go over the visual schedule. Even if they've done it 100 times before, we're going to go over the visual schedule. AJ, let's look at what we're going to do today. What do you think we're going to do first? What is this? What are they doing? Do you know? Greeting. Yeah, they're saying hi. So we came into class and we're saying hi to all our friends. Can you say hi to your friends today? Yeah. Hi, friends. And then we're going to do what? What's this for, do you think? What do you think that's for, Peyton? It's music. Hey, AJ, remember, we're not going to use our iPad yet. And so we're going to sing some songs, and then we're going to pray, then we're going to have a lesson, and then we get to do what? Then we get to go home. Now, on my wall, I'm going to have another piece of cardstock to where when we do each activity, we're going to put it onto the other side so that it's a visual to the child. We've done that one. Now we're going on to the next one. So AJ, did we say hi to our friends already? Did we already say hi to our friends? Did we say hi? Yes or no? Did we say hi? Yeah. Can you take it off? Thank you. Great job. Now, in class, he might have his own individual visual schedule, especially if you've planned breaks for him to leave the class and come back in. So his one-on-one aide might be doing this with him by himself, or you can be doing it as a whole class. It just depends on your situation. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? We're going to sing. Now, what do you do if you have a nonverbal child in your class? They're not going to sing. But remember, our point is to include them in everything that we do. So, maybe AJ isn't going to sing. Maybe we're singing a song he doesn't know. So I can give him an instrument to play while we sing. Psalm 150 talks about praising the Lord with sounds and cymbals and songs and drums and trumpets. It's not just singing. Now, I'm not suggesting you have a rock band, but there are other ways that we can praise the Lord other than singing. So if you have a child in your class that can't sing because they don't have the verbal ability to sing, or it's too loud for them when they sing, you can find another way for them to be involved. Maybe it's holding the visuals that you use while you're singing. Maybe it's an instrument that they can play while they're singing. Now, we have already done this. This is not new to him because we do Patch Club. But I will say we've only done instruments 2 times in Patch Club, and watch how well he responds to the procedures that we've already taught in place. AJ, we're going to sing, and I would like you to use rhythm sticks today. Can you show everybody how we get our instruments ready? How do we get them ready? Do you remember? Oh, how are we ready? You're not ready. Can we get ready? Good job. We get ready first. All right. Peyton, what are we going to sing? Should we sing Jesus Loves Me? Do you want to sing Deep and Wide? What do you want?
Got the joy. Got the joy.
No, we're not going to sing Tap, Tap, Stop. I've got the joy? Okay, are you ready? I've got that joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I have the love of Jesus in my heart, down in my heart, and I'm so happy, so very happy. I have the love of Jesus in my heart. AJ, thank you. Can we put the rhythm sticks away now? And again, you may have trouble, because they might really like these, and you may have trouble. So maybe say we're going to do one more song, and then we're going to put away the rhythm sticks. If they still give you trouble, you go to the visual schedule and you say, nope, music is all done now. It's time to put it away, okay? And if they're really refusing, then we can talk about some behavioral procedures that we can put in place. But did you notice he didn't sing? But what was he doing? He was participating. He was involved in praising the Lord in class. That's really important. AJ, what did we just do? Can you take it off for me? Thank you. Just wait. Oh, AJ, what do we have next? Oh, it does look like clapping. But what else do we do with our hands like this? What else do we do? Don't help him. We can pray. That's right. Do you have something that you'd like us to pray for today? Can you tell me first? What do you want to pray for today? What? You just want to pray to Jesus? Okay. So you can ask them. You can have them bring in something. If it's like their turn to give their prayer request, you can talk to mom and dad ahead of time, have them bring something in. Or they just may not want to, and that's okay too. But so at this point, we would pray. AJ, would you like to pray for us today? No, that's okay, honey. You don't have to. But thank you for participating. Okay, and then we would pray, and we will pray, and then, oh, we prayed. Now what are we going to do? Right. Yeah, you could do one. Okay, what's next, AJ? Do you know what this is? We're going to have a Bible story. Yeah, are you ready? We're going to have a Bible story. So, at this point, there are multiple things you can do, multiple ways you can do. I'm going to show you one way. And we don't actually use this in our junior church. We use a curriculum called Bogard Press, which I really, really like. It's on your resource pages at the back. But to be honest with you, I'm learning new things all the time too. I'm learning about new things, especially as we prepare for a conference like this. I'm researching, I'm trying to find things. So I learned some things over the last month that I did not know existed that I'm excited to have implement into our junior church. So we don't actually use this in our junior church, but I want to show it to you. So this is where I'm going to need the other program. So we're going to pretend, for the purpose of this illustration, that we have already talked about the story of Adam and Eve. Okay? So this would be a review lesson. We're going to review the story of Adam and Eve. Now these books are absolutely fantastic. This cost me $3 from Royal Kids, and I just printed it out, I cut it, and I laminated it. And what it does is it allows the student, while you're going through the story in class, it allows them to have something to do while you're teaching. So Peyton might be able to sit still and attend to a lesson with just a flashcard, okay? He's not going to do that. He's going to get bored very quickly. So this keeps him engaged, and he's able to follow along with the story as I tell the story, okay? So AJ, we're going to talk about Adam and Eve. Do you remember learning about Adam and Eve? Yes. Do you remember last week when we talked about Adam and Eve? What did God make Adam from? Do you remember what God made Adam from? What is it? What is it? Oh, yep, God took what? God took dust. That's right. God took dust from the ground and he made a man. That's pretty incredible, isn't it? That God could do that. Can you do that, Peyton? Can you make a person out of dust? I can't make a person out of dust, but God can. Look what God did after. What did God do, AJ? Blowed, yes, he breathed into his nostrils. What? Air, yes, breath, that's right. Oh my goodness, God put his own breath into Adam, Peyton. So God made Adam out of the dust, and he was just a shell. And then God breathed into him, and the Bible says he became a living soul. That was a miracle what God did when he made man. Do you know God did not make the animals that way? God did not breathe into the animals. AJ, who did God breathe into? Who did God breathe into? He blowed into who? Into Adam's nose. That's right. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Oh, man became a living soul, and God named him Adam. That's right. Who else is called Adam in this class? Who else is called Adam? Yeah, your name is Adam too. That's right, Peyton. We're going to be quiet while we're having class, okay? Now, one thing I didn't do, I should have gone over my rules at the beginning of class, and I didn't. So see, even the experts mess it up. And I'm not an expert. That's right. He called him Adam. Peyton, do you know what God did next with Adam? Oh, no, before that, he had a special job for Adam to do. Do you remember what it is? That's right. AJ, God put Adam where? In a what? In a garden? Do you remember the name of the garden? That's a hard one. We might not remember it. Do you remember it? It was the Garden of Eden. Now, here I have a child that doesn't need the visual, but is obviously thinking this is really cool. So you let them have a turn too if you're doing it. If it's his own book, no, that's AJ's. I have something else for you to do, okay? God put Adam in a garden called Eden, and he had to take care of it. AJ, do you have something at home that you have to take care of? Do you have something living at home that you help take care of? What is it? She's got whiskers and a tail. Stop helping him. Yeah, she's living, isn't she? And you help take care of her. That was Adam's job in the Bible. Adam had to take care of the plants and the garden and the animals. That was a big job. AJ, do you do a good job taking care of Callie? Yeah, I bet you do. Peyton, you do too, don't you? Yes. Oh my goodness. God gave Adam the job to name all of the what?
Animals.
All of the animals. What kind of names did he give the animals, AJ? Can you name some animals for me? Oh, what is Callie? She's a cat. What other animals? Can you tell me two more? Dog and cat and dog, and one more. Can you think of another one?
Duck.
Oh, a duck. Very good. Give them time, okay? Especially like children with autism, and I'm sure other, maybe your brother also, their processing takes a little bit longer than us. Teach the other kids to be patient. Don't speak for them. This is their turn to answer the question. We're not going to be rude. We're going to be polite. We're going to let them have a turn and be patient. And you'll get to know your kids. You'll know if they're thinking, I knew he was thinking, or if they're like, I'm not paying attention, okay? And if they're not, then move on and ask another child. But give them a minute. They're not going to answer as quick as your other kids most of the time. Oh, God said Adam was all alone, Peyton. Did God say it was good or not good for Adam to be alone? For Adam to be all by himself? AJ would like that. But this Adam, he did not like being all alone. God said it was not good. AJ, can you put not good on the board? God said it was not good for man to be all by himself. Wait a minute. Was Adam all by himself? Who's with him in this picture?
Animal.
Oh, but God said he was all by himself. Why? There wasn't another person there. That's right. God knew that we would need more than just the animals. He knew that we would need other people. And so God made Adam a person. AJ, who did God make Adam? Who did God make Adam? What's her name? Adam and Eve. God created a special helper for the man. Which one is someone helping? Oh, that's a woman, yes, but which one is the helper? There you go. That's right. God made woman to help. God made Eve to help Adam. And they lived together in the garden. And God put the man to sleep to make Eve. Everybody pretend to go to sleep. And wake up. 3, 2, 1, go. God put Adam to sleep. And he took out one of his, what, AJ? He made Eve out of what? Yeah, a rib. That's right. Yeah. God took a rib out of Adam's side. Now wait, how did God make Adam again, Peyton? Did he use a bone to make Adam? Oh, he made Adam out of dust? But how did he make Eve? Out of a rib. That's right. God made Eve a special way, different than Adam. That's right. Because everybody is different. That's true. Okay, so from the rib, God created a woman, and Adam called his wife what? Eve. That's right. Peyton, do you know that Eve means mother of all living? Because Eve was the first mom in the whole world. That's pretty cool, huh? What? You wish I was the first mom? I'd be very old if I was the first mom. Wow. All right. Adam and Eve took good care of God's garden together. AJ, which one do you think is Adam and Eve taking care of the garden? Can you see it? Stop helping him. It's this one. Look, see, they're taking care of the animals. They're taking care of the ground and the plants. Very good. God gave them everything that they needed in the garden. There was nothing missing. Now that Eve was there, God gave them everything that they needed. But best of all, they had a perfect relationship with God. Look up here, AJ. Oops, that is the wrong one. Oh, no, it's not. Perfect. God gave Adam animals, keep your foot still, and a garden, and fruits and vegetables, and God gave Adam Eve. But even better than all of that, God gave Adam God. And God came and spoke to Adam in the garden every day. Now, the one thing I like about this is when you buy their curriculum, every time they talk about God, it will be the same symbol. And that will really help your kids with a difficult concept like God. So if you're looking for stuff, watch for things like that, to where they have the same symbol for main themes that you would talk about in the Bible. Oh, look at this. Who created Adam and Eve, AJ? Who made Adam and Eve? Who? Who made Adam and Eve? Do you know who? Who made Adam and Eve? This one. Who's this one? Who's that? God. Who is it? God. God made Adam and Eve. 1 second. It's almost iPad time. Oh, you're pausing it? Okay. Generally, he would not have his iPad in junior church. Hey, look up here for 1 second. We're almost done. Do you see how his attention is done? Okay, he's gone. Even with an interactive book, even if we had other things that he was doing, this is it. Like, you're done. So that's where you like lower your expectation and say, okay, even if we're not done, to save the calmness of the classroom, we're going to move on. So do you know that God made you too? God made Adam and Eve, and he said it was very good. Can you do that? Very good. Guess what God said when he made you? He said it's very good. AJ, did you know that God says when he made you, he did very good? When God made us, he did very good. That's right. He made you very good. Okay, now we can play a review game on your iPad. So can you go to the long story, Adam and Eve? This is a program called Boom Learning. It is absolutely free to have an account. You can also set up accounts for your students. That is also free. There is a paid portion to it, but you don't have to do a paid portion. And you can purchase or make Boom cards. I'm getting old. I can't do two things at the same time, obviously. You can purchase Boom cards that are then very interactive. And so if your student has an iPad, you can do this in class with them. Or you can send it.
No, my headphones.
You don't need it for 1 second. I want you to go to Boom. Can you go to Boom Learning? Okay. You can send it home, and they can do it at home with the parents as a review. Hang on 1 second. Peyton, sit down. So,
1 second.
yeah, thank you. Uh-oh. The internet's not working. The power is working? Oh, it is now. You made it work. What'd you do? Okay. You know, a lot of us will send home like flyers with our kids, right? Do you know what most kids do with those things? Leave them in the van, and then mom has to pick them up, you know. Sit down. Sit down. But if we're talking about a situation where, like, go off of that, go on to Boom Learning. If we're talking about a situation where a child needs a lot of repetition, this is perfect. I'll tell you what, why don't you go and help Dad do it on his computer, because this is not working. Okay, go to Let's Review. You can go down to Peyton, good girl. No, thank you. She wants to stay up here. Okay, so here we can do different the child can do different levels depending on their ability. Okay, so AJ, I want you to do 3 choices. Can you go down? Daddy's not a touch screen.
What
Can you-
did God create man from?
What did God create man from, AJ?
Yes.
Good. Okay, can you do the arrow, please? Now, you don't have to do this in your class, but they could do it at home.
Oh, you okay?
Yes, thank you. Uh-oh. What was Adam's job? Animals. Can you hit the
God
arrow?
created a woman from Adam's blank.
Rib. Uh-huh. Good job. Isn't that amazing?
Where was man and woman's first home?
Where was it, AJ? So I think it's delayed on here.
It's about
Okay.
3
What was
seconds
the
behind.
best thing Adam and Eve had?
What was the best thing they had, AJ? They did have a job, but that wasn't the best thing. That's right. They had a relationship with God. Good job.
Who did God create in his image?
Super hard concept, right? For a kid to understand. Oh, you're all done. Can you go to the home? This cost me $3. $3. And you can give it to as many kids as you want. They just have to have their own account. And they have quite a few, but there are other people that do this too. Okay? Thank you, AJ. All right. You can take the iPad and you can go. Get your headphones. Hey, should we all clap for AJ and Peyton? Yeah. Thank you. Oh, no, now I'm nervous, he says. All right. So the other thing you can do with Boom Learning is, Adam, if you go back, hit the back button there. At the top. No, the blue back button.
It says back.
That would be that one. Quit. Thank you, Kaylee. All right, let's look at this one. 1 Timothy 1:15. Now, I will say,
Bible verse
Okay.
of the week.
unfortunately, at this time, there are not a lot of King James opportunities. Can't think of the word I'm trying to say. I'm praying that will change. I have someone that I am in the midst of working with, because I don't have time to do this. But I'm in the middle of working with someone who may be able to do more of these King James version. This one is King James, but I do want to show if you have a child that is very limited verbally or nonverbal, you could do a summary of the Bible verse. So click on the short version. Do match. And so when you're doing,
Let's match the pictures.
when you're having your kids say the memory verse, maybe you're having them earn a sticker or a reward or something, you can have your little son, if he's not able to say the word, he can have the iPad and he could do this, and then he said his memory verse. And guess what?
I may also need a class.
And here's the thing, that is going in. It's going in. He is learning Jesus saves sinners. He maybe doesn't understand what that means, but neither does the 3-year-old when you do it in 3-year-old class, right? If you go back one more time, this button here.
I did.
Okay, sorry.
So we'll see.
Okay, just hit the back button. Yeah.
Bible verse.
Or you can have them actually do, and there's all kinds, they can type it. So let's do type. Type is a good one if you have nonverbal children.
Use your keyboard to type the Bible verse.
Okay? And this is the full verse. Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners. So if you have kids in your class that use AAC devices to where they're nonverbal, but they're very used to speaking through an iPad, This is a remarkable way for them to be able to do the Bible verse. And like I said, this is just one option. If you take some time and go on Google, go on Pinterest, go on Teachers Pay Teachers, you will find a plethora of ideas that you can make work for your classroom. The point of this, I should not wear heels when I speak, obviously. The point of this is find a way for every child to be included. If you don't, when you're doing memory verse time, AJ's going to be causing trouble because he's not participating. And so part of keeping calm in your classroom are doing these kind of things to where at every stage in your lesson, the child is involved. And one I didn't really do, but you can have movement during the lesson by everybody, let's stand up and let's bend down and pretend we're bringing up dirt like how God would have. Okay, now everybody blow. Just a tiny bit of movement and then back into the class. And sometimes I think as teachers, we're scared of movement because we're like, well, if I let them move, I'm never going to get control back. Well, then you've lost the battle before you've even started. You need to have clear and concise rules of what you expect, and then you allow them to have the movement, and your overall class will be better. Just a couple of other things that I wanted to point out. If you want to flip back to the other one, I'll just 2 minutes and then I'll be done. Okay, so in the first scenario, we said we want to have structure, we want to have clear expectations, we want to provide adaptions, we want to have interactions, and we want to remember the child's capability, okay? The easiest way to have structure is to have a visual schedule, hands down. I have not found a better way. Something visual, something interactive, something that you can refer to. If you're not able to teach that day and someone has to sub for you real quick, it's really easy for them to follow. Oh, this is the order that we do things. Really important way to keep structure. Expectations. These are your rules. Keep them short and simple. Try to frame them in a positive light and go over them repeatedly. This is what I do. I'm a music teacher. This is what I do with my music class. I make my rules musical. And so we clap them. AJ, what's this one? What's this one? Be respectful. Be responsible. There you go. 2 weeks in Patch Club. I've only done those for 2 weeks, and he already knows them. Now, I might have to explain what those things mean, but it's just a way where even now I could be like, oh, and my Patch Club kids will go, oh, we're not being respectful. Right. So think of ways that you can make your rules easily incorporated into your classroom, not just something that you stick on the wall so that you have it there. And then refer to them during the day. Peyton, you're being so responsible by helping your brother right now. I really appreciate that you're being responsible. And there you're reinforcing your rule, okay? Adaptions we talked about a lot already, so I'm going to go over that. Interactions, we showed that too. Kids retell the story. If you have felt boards, use them. Kids love playing with the felt. Have the children retell the story on the felt board. Even your nonverbal kids can get involved in, well, who came first, Adam or Eve? Adam, good. Put Adam on the board. Have them involved in how you're teaching. Music time, one of the ladies over here mentioned learning ASL. Absolutely incredible way to get kids moving for memory verse time or anything. You're moving using your body. And then capability. Make sure you understand what your children are capable of and don't push them past their limit. It's not worth it. Have fidgets and have breaks if necessary. Participate at the child's level, and then have a room that's disability friendly. And so one of the things that we do in our Patch Club, because I have a lot of kids in a small space, is we don't use chairs. I have floor dots. You can use big ones or small ones, and they have to stay on their dot. That helps a lot with kids that like fall out of their chair all the time. Just take the chair away. Kids like sitting on the floor anyway. And so that's what I use, and I'll put my dots on the floor, and I'm like, okay, you got to stay on your dot. or you got to stand on your dot, and it gives them their space bubble of where they're going to be, and it prevents, any chair issues. So be creative. If there's a problem in your class, think of a solution to it instead of just putting up with it. Be creative, and you will find ways to calm the chaos that's in your classroom.